Hello and welcome back everyone. Today we'll be covering a Necro PvE minion build, which is sure to see increased use with the upcoming minor update. So let's get started right away. For sets, we'll use 6-piece Shepherds, as it increases damage our summons deal, increases critical hit chance, and allows the summons to enter a frenzy state, increasing attack speed. It's worth noting that the 2-piece Shalbass bonus also increases the damage your summons deal with primary attacks. So if there's a combination you prefer, or maybe you don't have access to 6-piece Shepherds, feel free to experiment on your own. While we're on the subject, let's take a look at the Wildfire family attribute. This also increases the damage your summons deal, and with access to 4 family attributes currently, you can run your preferred 3, perhaps for a family bonus like say chance on kill to summon a Hydra, to continue playing on the theme, or another bonus and still work this one in. For skills, first up is Command Golem. We're using Visitant's Sign and Desolatoria to increase the duration and empower the Golem. You can reactivate the ability to cause the Molten Golem to leap to a destination. This is great for stunning packs of mobs in challenge rifts or repositioning the Golem in something like Shadow War. Skeletal Mage. We're using Synod's Anointing and Welcomed End. This will give us an additional charge and turn our mages into a Grim Reaper. The nice part of the Reaper is that it's no longer stationary, but there are various essence options that you can tweak depending on the content you're doing. For example, laser mages are very effective for any target that they can stay on continually. Command Skeletons. We're just using the baseline ability here, and you can reactivate it to reposition them and give them an attack speed buff. Make use of this to help keep them alive, engage backline targets, or boost their DPS. Bone Armor. Cloak of Quills and Graven Bulwark. This will increase the duration and give them a Thorns-like aura that deals surprisingly large amounts of damage to nearby targets. And with the large amount of summons that we're going to have in this build, it adds up. Again, depending on the content, you can alter the chest essence here. An armor debuff for mobs if you're in a group and have other players who deal more damage, or orbiting spikes if your summons don't have high survivability in something like a challenge rift. Soulfire, just the baseline for the primary attack here. By now, most everyone knows how powerful Resonance is, but here are a few 1 and 2 star gem options that work good for this build. Berserker's Eye. Since you're fairly safe behind the summons, the increased damage is fairly mitigated by simply avoiding it. Freedom of Devotion. Increased duration and increased damage for summons. Pretty self-explanatory why this is good for this build. Follower's Burden. Increased damage dealt and decreased damage taken for summons. But note, this is a 2-star gem and will require more effort to rank up. So what does this build do well? Well, honestly, it's pretty good for all PvE content, and with minor tweaks, it can pretty much handle it all. Swap Wraith form for mages, and it works well in Shadow War, as you now have increased mobility. Rotate Wraith form for Command Skeletons if you're running a dungeon that has long distances to cover, and you still want the extra damage from mages and Golem at bosses. Or if you're running something like Namari, you can use Wraith form, and then change the ability back when you get to the boss. Change your offhand to the laser mages, and you can increase single target damage for things like raid bosses, at the cost of the mobility, which doesn't much matter for some of the encounters. Swap chest essences to get more damage output if your summons are having issues surviving in challenge rifts. I think I've made the point that this build is certainly versatile. The build is also very user-friendly. It can easily be picked up by new players very successfully, due to its mostly passive gameplay. I hope you enjoy the build, or one of its many variants. As always, thanks for taking the time to watch, and have a great day.